So, very sorry for the technical issues, but I think we can start now. We welcome you to our discussion about how we can improve the GOKb in the future. And this is as we are very interested in cooperation and collaboration with our users. This session should be more a workshop. So it's not that we only want to discuss something and you are mere listeners. We would absolutely encourage you to participate and to give us your thoughts, give us your requirements, give us your just wide ideas how we can improve the GOKb. We have some topics prepared, but we don't want to stick only to these topics. So if you have a topic that is of interest for you, and maybe you don't use the GOKb and think this is the thing why we don't use it, why can't they implement it, and I would use it and say it. We are absolutely happy to get new requirements and new ideas how we can develop, how we could go on from that. Christina prepared some slides. We are from VZG and HBZ in Germany, two library networks that are together with the ZDB, the Union Central Journal Catalog in Germany, are maintaining the GOKb. This is Moritz Horn, our technical lead and main programmer of the GOKb. This is Christine. She does nearly everything regarding the GOKb, and I myself, I'm Daniel, and I'm the product owner of the GOKb. So, first, we are very interested in your background. And are you using the GOKb right now? Especially our online audience, and are you interested in using it? And from where do you come? Maybe if you want to share it, it's great. If you do it personally, but you could also use the chat for this. Or some of you.
I get started. My name is Simone Georgi. I'm from the SLUB in Dresden. So my colleagues are actively working in the GOKb, and we're absolutely interested in getting on with that.
Yeah, I can continue. So I'm Felix Hammer. I work for CDW. We are a large economics library in northern Germany. Our library director was Meyer, and we are using GOKb, I guess, since the beginning of its rollout, at least in Germany, because GOKb is around for more than 10 years now, but it's actively being used, I don't know, since 2020. So that was when we implemented Folio, and we are using GOKb since then for managing our packages of e-resources.
My name is Dave Trail, and I work at the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. And we don't have GOKb, but I'm kind of interested in how you use linked data in the error management.
Sorry. My name is Anna. I'm working at the BZ. It's also a library network in the south of Germany. And we're evaluating Folio, and yes, Folio is used with the GOKb, so I'm very interested in GOKb. Yes.
My name is Gerhard Steilen, and I work at the GOKb, and we are providing the GOKb to our libraries.
So, and from the chat, Hedda Bahn. From Germany, yes, welcome.
Maybe someone else online?
No. Yeah, but they don't write in the chat, so
okay.
I don't want to expose them to
them. So, a few words of the GOKb. This is what the GOKb offers. It's a global exchange platform. It's a knowledge base. We have it's a database where we have metadata of electronic resources like e-journals, e-books, and other electronic media like audio-video files. We have the first ones, but it's important for us that firstly it's merely electronic, so it's for electronic resources, and the second thing is that this data is maintained in packages. It's bought in packages, and so a package is a sorting principle in the GOKb itself. We try to unify the data that we get from different providers, that it's quite easy because thanks to God, there is a common standard, is the KBAT standard, and we use this standard to get the data, and you rely on the standard, and we're very keen to hear about KBAT phase 3 that will hopefully come out this end of this year and maybe next year. And this is the base of our data in the GOKb. And the GOKb itself focuses on access information and electronic resources. That means that we don't want to show a complete mark record of every type we have. We focus on that things that you need to access the data, the resources, titles in your library. As such, it is all optimized for automated processes. That means we have lots of APIs, interfaces, different ones, where EPMH, but also JSON-based or REST-based APIs. We have our Sprawl API. So, because you know that data is, it doesn't help if data stays in the GOKb. It has to get into the world. It has to get into library systems as well. So, okay. Some very important things is first enrichment of data. So enrichment is done via external databases. Right now, we can do this for journals. We use WOLFcon. This is the German journal database that has, although original Germany, it has more and more global scope. So OCLC relies on journal data from ZDB regarding their own journal data and WorldCat, and we have additional data from EZB. This is another journal database of Germany where we get the identifiers, and we want to do the same for ebooks. Right now, we have no database for ebooks where we can get information from, but we hope that the ebook pool, that's also a project of most German networks, that we can get information from there. We also try to standardize and deduplicate the data so that we have a resource title, a single reference title for each package title that is linked to each package title, where we have bibliographic data that is more than the KBAT representation of all these titles and gives more information. One thing we put lots of effort in the last years is the correction processes and the automation of correcting syntactic and semantic mistakes and errors that are in the data itself. Syntactic errors, it's clear, it's, if something is plain wrong, such as a wrong ISSN with a wrong number at the end. But semantic errors are much harder to detect. It's maybe the wrong ISSN in of a wrong title pertinent to another title in the metadata, and such things that gives us a headache as librarians, but also such things as an ISSN that is also an electronic ISSN and a Brit ISSN. That is not possible, but we have it in our data. we have the KBAR data of most providers, and we have to get rid of it, and we have to identify it. So we have a system where as much as possible is corrected automatically, but there are lots of places where you have to look into it intellectually. And we try to provide the necessary information and a workflow where you can correct these data with the least effort.
Maybe, I don't know if we want to skip to the topics.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first topic, this is the next one. Let's go back, yeah. So the first topic is workflows and challenges. Maybe? Do you want to take over regarding the workflows?
Yeah, so the idea. Right. So what we do. What we're doing right now is for improving title data is retrieving reference data from the ZDB, for example, and the idea is for those instances where we are getting conflicts from different sources, we want to have optimally have reliable information from a third system that we are trusting, and for journal data, this is the ZDB. So we're referencing against them, but that's also in addition to the internal review that our curators are doing, and I think
the slide is missed. I don't know why.
Okay, let's see.
But I have the questions.
So I think that regarding the workflow, there are lots of issues. Not only the GOKb, but regarding the resource workflow in general. So the first thing is providing the KBAR data. There are different ways we get our curator groups get their KBAR data. This is maybe per mail. This is maybe per FTP server. This is maybe via a link on the provider's homepage. And we are trying to improve this regarding the GOKb. We can't get into the mails, into mail accounts, but we're trying to improve this. We have right now we have an automated input method for HTTPS. So for provider files, KBAR files that are presented on the provider's homepage. So you can enter the URL. There are also placeholders for dates. So also lots of KBAR files, they have the date coded at the end. So you can input their placeholder in the GOKb, so that not only the file of a certain date will be imported, but also the following files of following dates. But there are lots of issues with this method. So maybe you can. These are mostly technical issues. So Moritz is.
I think since we're doing this, we're we're trying to get your ideas about about working with KBOD files or working with resource data in general. I think one thing we wanted to, we're hoping to get your perspective on specific challenges or errors or problems working with KBOD files. And how you are trying, how you are solving them, and your ideas on for GOKb or for a tool like GOKb, how such a tool could help you. So
So how do you get your KBOD files, and how's the best way to get your KBOD files for you?
Yeah, I can start. So in an ideal world, we get the KBOD files directly from the provider, and they should follow the standard. So if they do, then it's really convenient to just use this auto import feature from GOKb so that we can create a package and provide the package metadata. But then just post the URL and the titles are being updated automatically by like a schedule that you can define. If you want to have like this Springer ebook packages, they are being updated monthly, so you can set the update schedule to monthly. But yeah, there's an issue if the provider doesn't follow the standard, so you can't. That would be the first issue. So if the data is not following KBOD, phase 2 as it is right now defined. So for instance, we have a provider that we've contacted over the years multiple times, but they are, for instance, that are ebook KBOD, so KBOD with ebooks, and they don't use the state published online field, but they put the date, the publication date of the ebook in the coverage segment. Or they don't have the title ID. So we have figured out our rule, and we do it manually now. Every time we load a KBOD file, so we know we have to copy values from one column to another. We have to populate the title ID and use the online identifier for the online ISBN. We have to append missing columns. We have to rename columns because they are using coverage nodes, but the property has been renamed to just nodes. So in order to make the KBOD file valid, we have to put some effort in it. So I think, yeah, trying to push on the vendors that provide and create those files, that would be really good. But yeah, what shall you do if they just ignore you? If the content is worth it, you will still license it. So that would be the first issue. And the second one that we are experiencing right now a lot is that providers that host their websites and their CMSs on services like Cloudflare will provide problems when there are automated processes that try to access those data and pull data. So they are blocking it because they think it's like a bot or spam. So it would be good to, I don't know, find a solution to still being able to harvest those data. Like, I don't know, like with a whitelist or some other technical solution, so that GOKb can be seen as trusted source, and that is not a bot or doesn't have any intent to harm the website. Yeah, so, okay, and the third one, and then I saw KBOD files. So at our library, we've decided that the metadata management team is working with KBOD files for like our large packages, and our journal department right now, and later our ebook department, they will just manage local packages because they can use GOKb's UI to add new package titles or even create those reference titles. Because when working with KBOD as a CSV or CSV format, you have to be cautious because if you've talked a lot about it in the GOKb training. When you use Excel, for instance, you have to be cautious with fine coding and stuff like that, and there are things being interpreted not as text but as data, and then you end up, if you have, like in the coverage statement, you have journal 1//2, then it could be divided because it is now interpreted as a formula. So I think KBAR as such a text format is really not intended to be used by humans. So it should be created by the publisher and then it should be automatically interpreted and pushed into the other system, and we can then extract it using APIs and work with that.
Yes, all the things you said, we have seen in the GOKb itself, and there are additional issues. There's from the LISO, there's a KBAR endorsement, so that providers can be endorsed. They can use the KBAR logo they have, the KBAR sign, the little one, if they are endorsed, so that it's proven that they provide correct KBAR files. But because KBAR is now, I think, 10 years old or so, we have some providers that were endorsed once and are still endorsed, but the files have changed. They have stepped back. They're not compliant to neither KBAR phase 1 nor KBAR phase 2. We have seen KBAR files that are officially on the website shown as KBAR files, but are Excel files in fact, so with XLX ending. And so I personally think that the endorsement process should be done over and over again in some years or so. Does anybody use the KBAR automation? So just to maybe our online audience, KBAR automation is the last standard of the KBAR committee, but it's now, I think, 5-6 years old, so it's not the newest one. In KBAR automation, it's for online holdings, so it's not our thing in the GOKb because we have more a global approach, and there are some changes regarding the KBAR. If you do this automation, you get all your holdings from a specific provider, regardless of the package, as a single file. Therefore, you have additional columns where the package name and the package ID is entered. So it would be a great interest for me if this is a thing, if this is used, and because I don't know any library that uses this. He had talks with Tyler and Francis some weeks ago, and they were very keen to provide us with their files, and we said, you have great data. Tyler and Francis is really great regarding the KBAR file. So if you show examples of the GOKb, in most cases we use Tyler and Francis data, and they wanted to sell us their automation. So they have their KBAR automation implemented, and they wanted GOKb to use this implemented automation process, but we said it's right now there are some technical problems because we can't store authentication tokens inside the GOKb. We can store them, but they are obvious for everyone. So this is not the thing of the authentication token, but we don't need it. We just need a clear URL. We just need a KBAR file that is globally important, and this is the thing we can work with. And KBAR automation is more a thing for ERM systems and for other processes, but not for a knowledge base that focuses on global data.
Yeah, so we're still searching for maybe active users or prospective users who actually would benefit from it. But so far, and I think from today as well, so far.
So I think in our Jira board we have an issue ticket, an issue with keyboard automation. Maybe we should implement it, but it's I think 5 years old and it's postponed indefinitely. It's in the icebox because there's no requirement from our users. So it would be great interest for us if someone uses keyboard automation.
So I would say we jump to a topic we want jump. So data quality, or do we want platforms? Because we have 25 minutes.
I think let's start with data quality.
Okay.
Because this is. Do you want to start with data quality?
Yes, we are working actually on better data quality in the GOKb, because we get bigger from not year to year, from month to month, and we get more data, and the quality is most of the time very good, but we find almost every second week not so good data. So we have to tell us questions and our users, and now we want to ask you, what is good data anyway? So everyone say, oh, we want good data, but nobody can say what are good data when we ask this question. Yes, what makes good data? How is data quality measured? And what's your experience with other KBs? I don't know. Are you using another KB?
Well, I'm not entirely familiar with the current situation, but we used to have both Service Solutions and ProQuest, and the problem for us always was which is the right title.
Okay.
Because there's so many overlaps, and we didn't have like one system that would join them all together and be necessarily. That was the hardest thing.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it would very interesting for us what are good data, what needs to be good data.
The thing is, some things are obvious. So if you have wrong data, if you have technically false data or semantically false, we can identify it. But we don't know. We get from users or potential users of the GOKb who'd use it, but we're concerned regarding the data quality. Do you have good data? And we don't know. Yes, I think so. But what do you mean? What we have is absolutely a package definition. This is, I think, the thing that is very important for electronic, for the process of doing agreements and of buying data. So you have to know what is in the package, and so we have a very elaborate way to check if titles fall out of a package and come in and so on. But we don't know if this is meant regarding data quality. Sometimes
I think sometimes the issue or we're confronted with when people talk, or when some people talk about data quality, sometimes they're talking about depth, and that's something that's very important to differentiate, that we don't really have like bibliographic deep bibliographic data or records with much details for end users to search over. And in general, the idea is for GOKb data to be easily exchangeable, and we're keeping that what we need to match resources. But over the years, we added some additions, some things that we that were requested by users. For example, we added the ability to link resources to subject fields, which is not strictly used for our system to match resources against each other, but we're reasonably convinced that it is useful for the general resource ERM workflow. So we added those. So that's maybe something something as well. If you think about the scope of KBAT data, and if there's specific ideas or specific, if you can think of specific things that are not present in KBAT, but which would be nevertheless useful for the ERM workflow, so for your work, which we could add as well.
We've got a question in the chat from Stefan Domek from Leipzig. I think the IDs are important for further data flows in Folio. These must always be up to date. I could be wrong, but we have set up the API call. Are the IDs kept up to date?
The external IDs of titles, you mean? Yeah, so all package data or package level information is obviously kept up to date if it's configured. So we're offering the option to set up like an automated KBAT import for a package, and if that's set up, for example, each KBAT import for this package will update all package information based on the new KBAT file. So on the package level, the IDs are updated when when a new KBAT file is imported for this package. On the global reference side, that's a bit more complicated. So there's the possibility that a new package, for example, is matched, or a title from a new package is matched to an existing reference title, which has already been established by other imports or other processes. And if we match those and under specific circumstances, if there are new identifiers or new types of identifiers coming from this KBAT file that we don't have yet have on the global record, those will be added. But we don't use the single KBAT title information to update or to automatically update the global records, for example. But that's one thing where if we find conflicts, for example, that's a part of the system where we are using this workflow system. So we're generating a request for review for the curator that imported this package, and we tell them your package data, the identifiers of this title in your GOKb file has conflicts with a global record, and if that's the case, we want to make it easy to either have that GOKb file checked out, or easy to correct or update the global record, which is obviously would help all libraries or all users that are using this title in any package they have. So that are the mechanisms, I think, for updating IDs.
Yeah, so I can't think of any attribute I'd like to add to GOKb. So, but coming back to that of your last question, but regarding data quality, the like unique selling point for GOKb is that it combines data that we get from the provider and data that we have in our bibliographic universe, like all the ID enrichment that you showed before, because we then have, with the reference title, we have a place where we see, okay, this ISBN correlates to what this ISBN, as an example, correlates to this CDB ID or ECB ID, and we can then facilitate this data when we want to match something, for instance, in the union catalog or in folio in our ERM system. So I wouldn't consider data quality like with cataloging like RDA. So I don't care if the title of the package title, the name, so the title of like the 245 of a package title is correct, like we would have it in RDA. It can be like nonsense, or at least should be, yeah, it doesn't have to follow any standard because it's coming from the provider, but most important here are really IDs. Yeah. The matching between our world and the provider world. Yeah. Maybe that's even something you encountered when you said that it's hard for you to identify what the specific title you or yeah.
Well, for us, I think that if you find that there's a mismatch between what's in your PIM system and what's in the provider list, it's better to match the English title or the vernacular title somehow so that a human can come along and do that, even if the ID is different.
10 minutes. Okay, thank you. And
platforms?
Platforms, are you?
Yeah, platforms. Platforms are really important to us. From the internal structure of the GOKb, the platform is important for each package title. So you can have the same title on different platforms, so it is handled as different titles on the package level, and this is really important for us. But we have right now relatively few data feeds for platforms. We have lots internally that we don't use. In the user interface, we only show two: a name, a human readable name, and an URL. And these are the most important data for us, but there's also additional data we see from different sites that there's interest in improve these platform data, and I find it very interesting that lots of other systems don't have platform as an object in the system, because it's so important regarding the access to the data itself, regarding other things like statistics, like the counter platform, the corresponds to platform hours sense, and I think this is a topic globally that has to be improved and has to be made better inside the GOKb, but also elsewhere. So there isn't even a standard to exchange platform data. And I think this would be absolutely necessary. We provide our data to Ex Libris, to Alma Community Zone, and they have something like an interface that is something like a platform, but is filled right now with GOKb. We are not a platform, but there are so much internal Alma functions that are dependent on this platform, like statistics, like counter statistics. So now, if you are as GOKb, we are not a statistics provider. So I think this is something that has to be done. There are also things like parser information for access also, that all could be stored in a platform object. So why didn't we have all these fields right now? Why don't we show it? Because it's hard to get this information. We see this information as absolutely necessary, but we don't get it. So it has to be maintained because it changes a lot. Access modes, such things as shibboleth or other things, and it has to be maintained so that we don't have the wrong information on our platform level. And I think this is a global problem, and that needs to be solved. And yeah, there are other things I didn't mention. So there are lots of different uses for subdomains. So there are journals that have for each journal on the platform a different subdomain. So we can't differentiate platforms via the URLs, the domain URLs, because they are different subdomains. But there are also other providers who differentiate platforms via different subdomains. And this should be, in my opinion, should be a field in a standard that says how the platform URL works. Okay, this is great. Thank you. So we ask you. I said some information we could open the GOKb for, but we don't do it because it needs work to maintain it. What kind of information about platforms do you expect from a knowledge base in general, and from the GOKb in particular? How do you work with platform information in your institutions? So, how do you know that you have to use shibboleth for an IP range access for certain journals and shibboleth for other journals? How do you work with this? Where's this stored?
So in the current system, we use the ebook pool, and with the EVM tool, we say, okay, we use shibboleth or something else, and this is included in the local centers in the union catalog, and so it comes to the current system, and there we show in our catalog for our users, so the information from the union catalog. So it's very different. But we need this information also in the portfolio to inform our users how to get there. Or maybe there's some auto login links so that they can click and automatically log in the platform, so that they don't have to use a separate login when it's over VPN. So that's a problem also for us, because we have to know how we can show this information. So you cannot pivot in the folio for every title.
Yep.
But yeah, we show the information from the catalog.
Okay, see.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned the patron facing side, so the discovery, because we've done similar things with this field in the holdings record, where you have like, we included that access is provided at both our sites, so field and temporary, and some other things, and we've recently talked about it, and we've decided to no longer use this field for certain kinds of information, because it has some issues. So if you want to change the value, you have to update all your records. And we don't find that really good thing. And also localization is an issue. So if you include the German text and someone is not speaking German or can't read German, then it's hard for them to understand how this works. And have you considered, or do we consider using the information from the folio licenses app, from the license terms, and have like a link being displayed in Discovery for every, I don't know, provider or platform? We have to decide on what level, but then we could display certain information, certain license terms that are public to the users, not the internal ones, and then it would always be up to date. That could be also an improvement here.
So in your catalog, you show the information from the folio from the licenses set.
Yeah, not yet, but that is the vision. So you could have at each title record, so each result in the viewfinder or in the discovery system, you could have like an extra tab or link. What are the access conditions, or how can I access the ebook, maybe below the URL, and then you could display such things on the fly by querying the folio directly. Because we also heavily rely on this 4801 field, but it's hard in viewfind if you have multiple URLs, then it's hard to match each of those fields to the correct URL. So sometimes they are displaying all.
But we have in addition another challenge, because our portal, our research infrastructure, our information retrieval infrastructure is not only for our local users, it's for the whole world. So we need to get the information for every user anyway. And to make it more complex, it's not only the platform, it's the title. If you have all these transformative licenses, then you have moving walls, and EBSCO has its aggregated databases where you have a moving wall of maybe 12 months. Then it's Clarivate, who has a moving wall of 6 months. It's the differentiation. Then you have the direct access via Springer, and then you have open access titles. So, but it's not GOKb, I think.
So I think, look at the time, I think, get stopped. We thank you very much for your participation. I think it was very interesting for us to get your ideas and to talk with you about the challenges we face. And I think some of the challenges are not only challenges for the GOKb, but also for the whole community. Yeah. So thank you very much.
Thank you.